Hello, and good afternoon. So, yeah, as far as stuff that was different from last time, not very much changed. Basically, just went around kind of poking stuff for a while. Not anything terribly new or miraculous or amazing or whatever else. Basically got all these to 3, and I will actually continue randomly poking stuff until the couple folks that were waiting to see what would happen show up. Just because I also kind of... I have no idea what the hell Weenapo means. Way to go. I'm gonna assume it's not an insult. Although, honestly, all things considered, it probably is. Like 9 times out of 10, if somebody says something in RS, it's either a scam or an insult, but hey. Such things happen, right? Which is kind of part of the charm of the game. Part of the charm. But oh well. Yeah, I remember kind of back in the day. Oh, hello, Mr. Cow. Kind of back in the day, just getting ripped off on a regular basis was just kind of a thing everyone went through. Although you never know, you ran into some folks that were really helpful. Like, okay, I had my only 100k in the game, right? And I went and accidentally pulled the RD lever while essentially wearing a beret I bought for that much. And went and immediately got killed by a guy, because my usual look at the guy was, for my guy, was just like a blue spear, so I just had a myth spear, later on upgraded it to rune. That's a myth chain and a blue beret. And like a blue cape. I don't know, for some reason, that was just the look I went for with my guy. And so, yeah, it pretty much immediately got murdered, because I had no idea what that lever did. For anyone looking at this that isn't aware, there's basically a lever in one of the cities that if you pull it, you get transported into a place where other people can just run up and shank you. A lot of people like waiting next to that lever for that exact thing to happen. Back in the day, like when this originally happened, there was no warning on that lever. Nowadays, at least as of the most recent time I'd heard about it, if you end up seeing that lever, well, you end up pulling it, and it's like, okay, just so you know, you're going to, like, I think it was like level 54 or something wielding, which is just if there's a level difference of, like, 54 or lower, anyone can attack you. And all things considered, unless you're, like, 3 or something, odds are just about everyone's going to be in that level range to murder the ever-loving Christ out of you. So, yeah. Overall, one of those things that could have maybe been implemented back in the day. By the way, Mr. Cow, as far as saving the cows, here's the thing. So, brutal amounts of cow murder are actually kind of necessary. So the thing is, when you're starting off with crafting things, there's a lot of things you can kind of do. But if we pull up the menu right here, you know, you can make veggie sacks eventually. Can't weave yet, so don't know how to do that. I can make gloves. Apparently that's not terribly complicated. I can spin wool. Can go make pots. Can't make glass yet. Oh, no, wait. Actually, I can go and make beer glasses, which are completely worthless. Can go over here. Can cut opals for some reason. Did that always used to be there? Okay, I did not think you could cut opals that early. Never mind. Can't make any of this. And nothing really too fancy here, but... point being, pottery takes forever. I might end up going for that. Actually, cows are fairly dangerous, all things considered. Like, even right now. Like, let's go fight one, right? I know, Mr. Cow, this is against your nature. This is unacceptable. Ooh, you can even attack the calves. Yep. It's not brutal at all. So they have 8 health by this point, and my character has 11. Alright, pick on the people instead. You can actually do that. Point being, I was actually going to show my character getting completely, like, wrecked by this cow. But okay. So... at this point, my guy can't even figure out how to hurt this thing very well. Or girl, in this case. Anyway, we don't need to do that yet. Anyhow, you may have noticed also, I was one of those weirdos that always liked controlled. So you've got a bunch of different attack styles here. So this one, just a quick slash chop kind of thing. This counts as slash, this counts as stab, and this counts as defensive. Yeah. Mr. Cow, that is exactly the usual expected and good response out of that. Kind of messed up that you can immediately just go for the babies. I don't know. It's kind of messed up. So well. So that's going to be necessary down the line. Again, I might go for clay. It's just clay, as weird as it sounds, is a little bit more dangerous because of the areas that you have to end up going. Is the best way to do it, as I recall. I was never too keen on the clay route, but it was always stuff like, I know you would mine it near Varrock there. You would end up going and usually firing it at the Barbarian Village, which most of those things would attack me on sight at this point. And yeah, then you would just go fashion that into a pot at a spinning wheel. I think Barbie Village is really the only place to do that. I could be wrong on that, but either way, we're not worrying about that just yet. First off, the very first thing that we need to do is make a cake. Sounds like a strange thing. This was actually the very first kind of story bit that they put into the game at all. Funnily enough, it's also, its sequel is the 100th one. If you thought this was going to be a short run, good God, no. This is like, if everything goes well, this is a months-long thing. Okay. We go here, go to Cook's Assistant, basically just talk to a cook. Before we do that, though, we want to go pick up some things. So we basically need the materials to make a cake. We need a cake, we need a cake tin, and then we need an egg. What else? I think they give you a cake tin, so I might not need that yet. I think it's the earliest you can actually get a cake tin. I know, it's weird. You go to WoW or something like that, they're like, oh, you get this semi-legendary but still kind of garbage sword thing, and go do all this other stuff. Over here, it's like, yeah, check it out, I got a cake tin. I can make cake. This is one of many things I loved about it. So, let's see. Can I not buy that? Yes, I can. Okay. I'm actually going to buy 2, just in case I fail this. Oh, no, wait. Never mind. I'm an idiot. There's a cake tin right there. Milk. Can I buy that? No. Okay, well, yeah, that's not a standard buyable item, so that's why I can't get it. Alright, first things first. What the hell are you? Is that a black sheep? Black sheep of the family? Har har. Yeah, you can examine dang near anything, and it's gonna give you something kind of funny. Plant, a leafy shrub. That's not that funny. What about this guy? An ugly green creature? Well, that's just rude, especially when you find out later. Like, these guys are kind of a-holes, sure. I mean, they kind of get shown later to be kind of jerks. But yeah, no. The ham plotline, as in they have a thing that's like, it's ham, it's human against monsters. The thing that they end up doing partway through, and I think that one's actually my favorite. Because the whole deal is, like, a bunch of militia form up, and they're like, oh, these guys are friggin' everywhere, we gotta do something about this, and then you end up going and meeting with all of them. Like, yeah, they're not actually really doing much. Anyhow. Run a cow, the gate's open. They will never run. They will forever be the easiest and cheapest way to get your crafting up quickly. And normally that's what people do. They just go and, like, mass crunch the ever-loving hell out of those cows. They go by the gate to go to Al-Kharid, which is right nearby it. And then they, yeah, they just kind of proceed from there. They go to the tanner, they pay for them to be turned into leather, they use that leather to make some gloves, then some boots, then some armor, at which point they can actually break even on their investment. And then later on down the line, they would go and they would charge money for cutting gems and all that sort of thing. So yeah, you actually made money using your crafts and services in a lot of cases. Unfortunately, we won't really get much out of any of them. There we go, let's go ahead and drop a couple of these in here. I assume this hasn't changed. Okay, we just chuck all of that in there. Oh, it's already full, well fine. We'll do one at a time. We go over here, pull the lever. That goes down. I assume we can make 2 at a time. Okay, yes. Yes, we can make 2 at a time. Back in the day, this used to be 1 only, if I recall correctly. But that seems to have changed. There's a lot of things that have changed, but for the most part, it seems more or less the same. Go over here, empty flour bin. Fill my pots. Perfect. Go ahead and shank this guy. He's probably here to steal the friggin' grain. Feeling dyslexic over here, mispronouncing easy words. Jeez. Yeah, what's funny? This armor, despite being pretty much the best that your character can actually wear when they start up, it still only slightly protects against a lot of things. So even these basic things are a threat. They would be hitting a lot more if this wasn't the case. And yeah, if you thought stuff wasn't grim enough, the only way to get one of your most useful skills up is by burning dead bodies. Yep. Welcome to this. So, yeah. Perhaps not the nicest thing, but, I mean, I guess you could say it kind of sort of erred on the side of almost... I'm gonna say erred on the side of low fantasy, really, because there's a bunch of stuff that ends up happening that's kind of all over the place and crazy and everything. But for the most part, it stays relatively down to earth, like, despite the fact that you go, like, for example, there's an island controlled by monkeys, and you can transform into a monkey and all that sort of thing. It's still kind of, like, most of the weird stuff is utility. Like, transform into a monkey, you don't get crazy monkey powers, at least I don't think so. I never saw... Well, I saw there's a, Monkey Madness Part 2, which I've never actually seen. So, yeah, if we end up getting to that point, that's gonna be terrifying. There's a, yeah, Monkey Madness Part 1, that kind of nearly bankrupted my character back in the day. I can think of games that don't involve burning baby cows. Yeah, you notice that guy chucking fireballs at a cow, huh? I mean, sometimes you're just hungry for a burger. I mean, you go right here, you make some grain, you go and make that into flour, you got the cows right here, get some milk, you know, you get yourself a tin, maybe you just, you know, you got some eggs nearby too, you go ahead and farm yourself up the right ingredients to make yourself a bun, you throw a fireball at a cow, bam! Got yourself a ye old burger. Don't think you can actually make burgers. You can make steak, though. I think it just counts as meat. Yeah, there's a pretty wide variety of food. Looks like manta rays are still the top thing, sharks are the top standard thing. I don't know how we're really going to go about healing past mid-game, but we'll deal with that bridge when we get to it. Now, why is the sound not going? Seems like it should be going. You hearing music on your end? By the way, don't worry, I'm not actually going after the cows this time. I am here for their milk. Go ahead and do this. And go ahead and do this. And then we're going to go murder some chickens. I need another egg. Isn't there an egg that spawns somewhere? I'm going to say there's an egg that spawns somewhere. I'm not sure, but we're going to go for another chicken anyway. I would have thought you'd be okay with the chicken massacre. Oh, there we go. Everything's at level 4 now. I can actually hit 2s. It's a miracle. I can do it too. Isn't that amazing? I can barely do anything. Alright, this place is way too crowded though. I'm gonna try for one more chicken. If I don't get it, I'm gonna hope that it's good enough. Because literally all we have to do for this one is make a cake. So there's that. Go. Finally got access to 2s. Did you drop an egg? No, you did not. No, you cannot get eggs. Actually, I think they lay eggs as they run around. I think you can just pick one up. But apparently just forcefully ripping it out of them is a little bit faster. So I ended up getting this one. Okay, don't worry about it. Not weird or horrifying or anything. So, over here, we don't need this stuff anymore. Put that away and look all civilian-like. Basically my plan for this particular one is gonna go ahead and do 3, if I can do so. The cook's assistant is basically a shoo-in. We got Ernest the chicken, which is basically just a big old puzzle room. I wanted to get defense to 5, but whatever. Got some basic armor. You pretty much just need to survive 1 hit in order for that to work. Oh, hello, phone. Why are you making noises at me? Okay, what else? Romeo and Juliet is pretty easy, but I don't know if I can do that one yet. And, Witch's Potion. So this one, you can actually start off pretty easily, and is one of the ones that I want to do early. Because you have to be able to burn food. Again, strange thing, but you have to be able to burn food. And then ideally, as time permits, I want to do Imp Catcher. That's basically one that lets you get one of the best early necklaces that you can get. Now, where is dude guy? Age? What the hell is the age command? Oh, there we go. There's an imp. Come back here, imp. So yeah, imp catcher, you have to travel all around the world. You gotta basically collect... Ah, oh, dang it. They're annoying. You basically have to collect 4 of them. And not necessarily at the same time. There's a chance that they drop a bead. You get 4 different colored beads, a guy gives you a fancy necklace, and it's very useful. It boosts your accuracy for just about everything. Come on. Oh, whoops. I don't want to do that. And yeah, the only reason that I was doing controlled here, you may be wondering what the deal is, is going into dangerous territory here. Yeah, they just teleport around. Sometimes they go really far away and you just can't get to them. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. And didn't get eaten by spiders. Oh, sweet. Got some grain. Ugh. At least they added a back gate to this place. Back in the day, there was no back gate. Yes, there will be a lot of back in the day. But yeah, if one of them went to the other side of the wall, you had to go all the way to the other side of the wall. They're beating on squeaky toys. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, it looks like Lumpy is a lot more accessible. There we go. Talk to Mr. Cook. What am I gonna do? Well, but yeah, it's his birthday. It's permanently the Duke's birthday. Presumably time just never moves forward here. But okay, so the best part is, so like I mentioned earlier, wait. Yeah, I know where to find all this stuff because I already have it with me. Bucket of milk, here's some flour, here's an egg. Wait. So what he's saying right there is one day he'll be important enough to go at his table, and that's exactly why the 100th one is related to this one. So once you get to... I forget how many points it is, but basically the 100th quest here is one where you just go back and you go and like revisit a bunch of old plot lines and everything else, and everything is somehow food related, and then you just like fight a bunch of friggin' super bosses with food. Nothing interesting. I need an egg in order to make a cake. I don't think I can even bake a cake yet. What can I bake? When is cake? That counts as bread. Cakes. There we go. Regular cake is 40. Yeah, I am so well and beyond not ready to make a cake. Now we're gonna go ahead and just drop all this crap to the ground. Drop. Onto that. Not really expecting to be one-shotted by anything anytime soon here. So, Imp Catcher will just do as time permits. So Romeo and Juliet is kind of far away. I'd like to do the mansion next. Okay. Got 6 pieces of food, and that's basically your healing items. Actually, you know what? While there's a range here, I should make use of it. To explain how cooking works, pretty much anything that is raw you can go ahead and use on range, or fire, or really anything else. Ranges increase your success rate, so like right here, there's probably about like an 80% chance that I can... Nope, I burnt it. I am a sucky cook, and I've burnt that thing. I'm gonna do witches, maybe? Yeah, the mansion's gonna be its own long thing. Yeah, I think we're gonna do mansion. Mugger. Put this stuff on. Not much, but it'll at least be reasonable protection. And yeah, unlike a lot of MMOs, most things will be relatively passive, but certain things are just set to always be aggressive, so these ones are kind of passive. They're not really doing very much, but a lot of people go and practice on them. You can be a nice guy if you want. Oh. And we have oh, hell no. We're not doing this again. We're not doing this freezing crap during a friggin' MMO.